beautiful thing. Last training of, there we go. Last Saturday training of the year. Monday will be our last Monday training of the year, right? And the reason I did that is because if you notice, there's too many things along the way for the remaining Saturdays. The following Saturday is Christmas Day. Monday, the following Monday is the 27th, right? Everybody's still kind of in that vacation Christmas mode. And then the following Saturday after that is New Year's Day. So it's like, this is the last Saturday morning training of the year. And then Monday will be the last Monday night training of the year. I want to prep you for the first quarter of the year, right? This business is very seasonal. It's very, very seasonal. For those of you that attended the business planning strategy session, one thing that I talked about is when you set your goals, whatever your cash flow goal is, whatever your hours that you're looking to work are, whatever that is, okay? You don't want to take that number and then divide it by 12, because not every month will be the same. You have to anticipate the slower months. And you have to be able to make up for the slower months in the busier months. It's just the way that it is, right? December is a month where it's a great opportunity to plant seeds. And it's also a great opportunity to close as many cases as you possibly can, right? And here's why I say this, okay? If you try to open up a case right now, with someone that you have not talked to at all right, what do you think is going to be 90% of their answer right now? What would you say?
Catch me after the new year.
Yep.
Not right now.
Yep.
Yeah, the holidays.
Exactly. I got the holidays. I got Christmas shopping. I got this. I got that. Yo, hit me up next year. So your main focus right now this year needs to be to close out whatever cases you have open. The language you should be having with your clientele is, let's start the new year's fresh. Let's get this taken care of, right? These are people you've already opened up a case with, right? Recognize that they're not all going to do that. And that's okay. Some of them, especially the bigger cases, are literally going to say, listen, just hit me up at the beginning of the year, right? But some of the cases that you might have opened up in October, November, you could get them to take action and at least get them to submit applications, right? The client needs to know money's not coming out of their account until they're approved. So it's okay to start the underwriting process now, right? A tip for everybody I'll tell you is, during this time of year, a lot of insurance companies, a lot of people in the insurance industry, they go on vacation. And that's not just the field force. That's also back office. That's underwriters, case managers. So there's a high likelihood that there's certain insurance companies right now that are operating on skeleton teams. If you have someone that has medical issues, someone that would get a little bit, more attention during the underwriting process, now's the best time to submit. And fully underwrite. Because here's the thing. If insurance companies are operating on skeleton teams and you're still turning in business, they're busy. And when someone is really busy, imagine I'm an underwriter and my normal stack of underwriting is this high. And now all of a sudden during the Christmas year, I'm working for whatever reason. Now it's this high, right? I want to push that business through fast. I want to try to get it fast. So there's a higher likelihood that human error will occur. There's a higher likelihood that people will get things approved a little bit faster. There's just a higher likelihood during this time of the year. If you got somebody that's dealing with some medical issues, put them through underwriting now. Make sure you're on top of the underwriter. You got to become that annoying, nagging insurance agent, because if you're that person that they know you're calling every day to see where things are at, whatever they're requesting, you're getting it to them right away. I mean, you're just on the ball. If there's no underwriting requirements for the people to sign, there's no underwriting requirements for the underwriter to research, then they have to make a decision. And if they're pressed to make a decision, they'd rather go approval than decline. Does that make sense? Now's the time. So look through your database through the entire year and go, okay, was there somebody that I knew had a couple things, maybe a past stroke, a past heart attack, maybe they're dealing with a fluctuating A1C levels because of diabetes. Maybe that, maybe their health was great, and then they got affected by COVID, and now they're on that path to recovery and they're back to work, but they're still not like, now is the best time to capitalize on the fact that the what do you call it? The back office staff for a lot of these insurance companies, excuse me, are understaffed. I came from the restaurant industry, guys. Okay, I was a chef for 5 years before I got into financial services, right? Which means one of my biggest therapies is getting into the kitchen and just cooking. Like if y'all give me a full stocked up kitchen with a bottle of wine and some music and everybody's out of my way, I'm in heaven, right? Like that's just my therapy. But why do I say this? One thing that I learned in the restaurant industry is that if at the beginning, at the opening of a restaurant is when most kitchens are understaffed. Not all the cooks have arrived. They haven't arrived. So there's a higher likelihood in the very beginning that if a big table comes in, like when I went to the University of South Florida in Tampa, it was very common for there to be large organizations of like cheerleader groups or sports groups or something in that capacity that would just kind of show up, before the dinner rush. And if we're talking a table of 20, 25 people showed up, and they showed up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock during a transition shift of the kitchen staff, there was a higher likelihood of mistakes, right? Because again, they're understaffed. There's also a higher likelihood of the managers just giving plates away for free because they know that the cooks are pushing things out faster and not having necessarily the highest of quality focus on the food. Same kind of concept when it comes to underwriting. Now's the time for that, right? Now, what's the other slow time of the year? Anybody want to guess what's another slow time of the year? And if you came to my business strategy session, don't answer just yet, but I will call upon you if nobody gives me a response. Summer, yes. Specifically, I'm looking for a specific month of the year where things really slow down. July, nope. July's too premature. September, yes. Kids go back to school September, right? Kids have depleted the refrigerator for 3 months in summertime. Family vacations have already occurred. They've already spent their money on family vacations. The kids' new clothes has already been purchased. The new Nikes have already been purchased. The new shoes, the end of summer is a very financially exhausting time of the year for people. So when kids go back to school and all those things have already been spent, it's typically another kind of a slow wave, right? Now, when is the best time? I'm giving you the worst months. Let me talk about the best months right now. Best months right now. If you live in Florida, Florida is very seasonal, right? Florida is very, very seasonal. We start to get really, really busy October, November. We get really, really busy January, February, March. Snowbirds are in, right? The Northerners are now here in the South. Okay. You're still January, February, March, you're still dealing with the holiday festivities. The weather is amazing. The weather's really good. So people go out more, they spend more. Again, that is the time when people are, businesses are flourishing because there's a lot of snowbirds in that are using their services, and there's a lot of money that's going out as well too. You got tax returns happening, right? People get money in their hands. So January, February, March, huge. Now, Illinois, right? Look at Lucia, weather not better over here. Illinois might be different, right? Illinois, if I had to hazard a guess, things probably slow down a little bit January, February, March, because it's so stinking cold. People don't want to go out. People don't want to use, business services. Maybe restaurants don't have as much people going into them because it's negative 15-degree weather, right? That's right. So you have to adjust, right? So Illinois probably starts getting busy, if I had to guess, May, June, July, right? When spring starts to kind of show up, right? When it's not that cold any longer, because people have been hibernating and hunkered down for so many months that they're dying to go out now and just, go spend some money, right? So you have to account for that. Now, just because Illinois might not have their season January, February, March, and Florida does, right? And maybe Texas is the same as Florida, right? I'm kind of looking at it from a weather standpoint. January, February, and March can still be very, very big months, even if you're working from home or if you're out and about. Okay. The things that you want to know about January, February, March is that it's tax season. Best opportunity. Okay. When you're dealing with the middle American paycheck to paycheck household, maybe you should have a list of people that you've talked to about term life insurance and they didn't buy term life because they didn't genuinely feel like they can afford it. Like that's how tight their budget is. January, February, and March, they're about to do their taxes. They're going to get a tax return. They're going to get a tax return. That's the best time to introduce TKO's tax preparers, right? That's the best time to introduce some quick term life insurances. If I was pushing term life insurance right now during tax season, for people that year round, they're very budget to budget, they're very paycheck to paycheck type budgets. What company would you recommend? Let me ask you that question, then I'll tell you what company I would recommend. Again, you're dealing with a client that's tight on their budget year round. They're never going to be a GUL, IUL client if they don't change their spending habits or their income habits. Tax season's coming in, they're getting a tax return. Which term life insurance policy would you be bringing to the table? Lucia says Anaco, okay.
Foresters.
There it is. I'd be talking Foresters left and right. Because Foresters has more bang for your buck from a term life insurance product than any other company. They really do. They have this thing called member benefits. See, you have to understand Foresters is a fraternal company. Fraternal means that it's an organization, it's a group, kind of like a club. In order for it to be considered a club, then there has to be member benefits. Fraternal companies get tax credits. That's why they become fraternal companies. But in exchange, they have to offer their members certain privileges and certain benefits. Well, having a Forester's policy automatically makes you a member of their fraternity. Kind of cool, right? And so their member benefits are legit. I really do love their member benefits, right? So you've got the normal, death benefit, right? Term life, 20, 25, 30 years, right? Which, by the way, they're one of the only companies that offers a 25-year term and a 15-year term. Most term life insurance companies will offer a 10-year, a 20, and a 30. 10, 20, 30, right? Foresters is one of the very few that offers a 15 and a 25. So if you're dealing with a client that's in their 50s and all they want is a term policy for whatever reason, right? A 50-year-old might not qualify for a 30-year plan. They might qualify for a 20-year plan with most companies, but guess what? With Foresters, they might be able to get a 25-year plan. So that extra little 5 years becomes powerful. That's something you guys should keep in mind with Foresters. I remember that I had a client one time that he was in his 40s, but his dad was in his 60s, and he was adamant on getting life insurance on his father, and he had a lot of money. The son had a lot of money. And the son said, I want to make sure when my dad dies that me and my brothers are taken care of. My dad's unhealthy, doesn't take care of himself. I don't see him living another 20 years. So I want to take out a life insurance policy and I'm going to pay it. Well, his dad was in his 60s. I couldn't sell him on an IUL. I couldn't sell him on a GUL. He was adamant about a term policy. So now I got a 60-year-old client that I got to find the biggest term possible. Most companies are going to offer a 60-year-old how much of a term? What do you think? What kind of time period are they willing to go?
10.
10.
Yep. 10's the max. 10's the max. Foresters offered a 15. Foresters was able to give me that extra 5 years and offer me a 15-year plan. And that in itself is what gained me the client, because everybody else, every other insurance agent he was getting quotes from, State Farm, Allstate, Mutual, Mass Mutual, all those companies that most people go to, 10 year. I was able to offer them a 15-year. But then on top of that, I was able to throw in the member benefits that Foresters offers. So what exactly are some of the member benefits, right? Let's talk about it for a minute, right? Number one, you get this thing called Legal Links. Legal Links is a hotline number you can call where you can actually talk to attorneys and get advice. Advice in what? Advice in prepping for maybe a will, prepping for a trust, advice on maybe a particular, I don't know. Well, let me actually open it up. Let me open up the flyer. Hold up here real quick. I should have the flyer. Team share. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Marketing, carriers, foresters. There it is. Okay. So this is in your documents and resources tab on our website under marketing. Okay. Under marketing. Then under marketing, you're going to go to carriers and you're going to see there's a folder there for foresters. And I actually have this member benefits flyer already there for you. Right. So I wanted to open up to be more specific because I sometimes confuse different company benefits. Okay. But let's talk about some of these. Let's go right to legal links right here. Legal links. Legal links. We offer you access to complimentary and discounted legal services in your area. You may be able to connect with lawyers, help in a variety of issues, including wills, home ownerships, and family law. Family law. I mean, family law, we're talking divorce. We're talking, we're talking parenting plans. We're talking child support obligations. I mean, that's a much
Adoptions.
more adoptions, right? That's a much more higher common thing nowadays, unfortunately, but it's a real statement that I'm making. It's good to have that service already there. So why am I talking about the member benefits? Because term life insurance with foresters is very, very cost effective. You would think, oh my God, all these benefits means I'm going to pay an arm and a leg. No, if you run a quote with Anaco term or North American term, and then you run a side-by-side comparison with foresters, 9 times out of 10 is the same price or cheaper. It's crazy. Same price or cheaper. And yet it includes all of these benefits. So January, February, March, when you're dealing with tax season, you guys should have a list of people that you've met throughout the year that have been all year long being super tight on their budget. Super, super tight on their budget. And you should be calling them because they're about to get $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in their hands from a tax refund. That's the perfect time to say, hey, listen, I know you just got $5 grand or $6 grand. Congratulations. Can I give you a suggestion? Are you open for a suggestion? All right. Whenever I'm talking to an agent, and let me actually do this for a quick minute here. Hang on. I want you guys to see my face. There we go. Whenever I'm talking to an agent, okay, and some of you have already experienced it, right? If you've experienced it, feel free to unmute yourself and be like, he did it to me. If I'm talking to an agent or even a friend, and I have to deliver them news, but I want to be very direct. I want to be very real with them. I don't want to sugarcoat. I just want to be real, right? Here's your options, boom, 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 right? One of the questions that I'll say to people is I go, listen, are you open for my suggestion? Are you open for my opinion? Right? I ask them straight up like that. Hey, are you open to hear my opinion? Right? I'm asking for permission because when I say that, it doesn't mean I'm unloading something bad. I'm just being very direct on something that could be looked at, something that someone could look at and be like, I'm not 100% sure. Have you ever heard me say that to you before? Anybody? Yeah, there's Tani.
Yes.
Right? So whenever I'm talking, so think about it again. You're talking to that client that is always on a paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. Sometimes people just have bad habits. Sometimes people just unfortunately don't make a good amount of income. So they're always living paycheck to paycheck. Now they just got money in their hands. $5 grand. You know what they want to do with that money. 90% of those people are dying to blow that money on something. 90% of them are dying to use that money on a family vacation that they shouldn't be taking, or they want to go spend it at the mall, buying that big old flat screen TV that they shouldn't have, right? 10% of people actually use the money because they need the money. So I'm not here to judge. I'm just being honest on statistics, right? Here's my conversation. I go, listen, congratulations. You just got some money back. Are you open for my suggestion? Can I give you some feedback on what I would suggest you do? Are you open for that type of conversation? That's and if they give me yes, I'm free to go in. And I'm gonna say, listen, you're a single mom or you're a single dad. I know that money's super tight. Listen, if something happens to you and you pass away, money's going to be even tighter. As tough as things are right now, your biggest asset is your income. And if you're no longer here, that income's going to go with you. I'm going to give you a suggestion on something I think you should do. Okay. You made $5 grand in your return. What if you took $600 of that return, $600, and you purchased an insurance policy that gave you legal services whenever you need legal advice, if you get a ticket, if you need family law matters, right? You need wills. Right? It's going to give you access to cash if you end up in the hospital and you can't work because of cancer, strokes, and heart attack. If you're no longer here, and heaven forbid, this is the last year that you're here and you pass away, you leave behind a lump sum of money, right? Scholarship programs for your kids. Let me ask you a question. Is it important that your kids go to school and have an opportunity to go to school and maybe get that paid for? Scholarship programs, right? You know, if your death happens to be because of an accident, right? You get more money on top of the original insurance. I mean, look, I get it. You're making money. You just got money, $5,000. All I'm saying is, could you spare $600 of that money to have a policy that's completely paid for the entire year for you? So that next year, when tax season comes along, you don't got to make a monthly payment. You just, boom, pay the next year. Are you open for that? Here's what you're going to get. Here's the kind of answer you're going to get. You're going to get, you're right, I should, right? Believe it or not, sometimes people like to spend money just to spend money. It's burning a hole in their pocket. The fact that they feel they're getting something, they just want to burn it. You're just the first person to talk to them about it. They're going to say, yeah. They're going to say, no, I can't. Sorry. Or they're going to say, you know, I like it, but I really don't want to do the 600. And then at that point, you offer them a monthly plan. I don't like to offer monthly payments to people who are on a budget, on a paycheck to paycheck mentality. People that I know don't have good spending habits because there's a higher chance of chargeback. But you know, it's my last resort to try to get the client to get protected. Foresters is a company that I'm talking about. 30-year term, right? You know, death benefit, living benefits. Every one of Forester's term policies will include an accidental death benefit rider automatically, just so you guys know. $250,000 of accidental death benefits. So if they got $500,000 of life insurance, they're going to get an additional $250,000 on top of the $500,000 if the death happens to be because of an accident. If it's not an accident, it's a medical related issue, then it's just the regular $500,000. But if it's an accident related situation, then they get an extra $250,000. And then they get all these member benefits that we're talking about. Now I'm going to share the screen and show you what these member benefits are. So you can really start soliciting it. Look at this. Competitive scholarships. Each year, Forester's competitive scholarship program provides almost $2 million of tuition scholarships for higher learning in the US and Canada. Eligible members and their families with minimum grades of 70% in Canada or a 2.8 grade point average in the US and a minimum of 40 hours of community service may apply. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now what I just thought of. Sandra, I'm thinking about Chris. If we pick up a Forester's policy and Chris has a 2.8 GPA and Chris does 40 hours of community service, he can apply for scholarships with us. Why not? For those of you that have teenage kids that you maybe want to see them do some stuff for community service and you're trying to find a reason and rhyme to validate it, here's a reason to validate. Not to mention the fact of scholarship programs. Why not? Orphan scholarships. This benefit may provide the children of a deceased member with a renewable scholarship for higher education for up to 4 years of covered tuition and maintenance. So if mom and dad pass away and it's a Forester's policy, then the child can get orphan scholarships. Emergency assistance programs. Emergency grants may be available to provide short-term temporary financial assistance to members affected by significant personal hardship, disasters, or large-scale emergencies. This benefit is a one-time per disaster, per household payment. Let me tell you where this works out really well. If you live in an area where there's natural disasters, hurricanes, hello, South Florida, right? California, earthquakes, right? I don't know what Illinois goes through other than freezing cold weather, but y'all are masochists. Y'all choose to be there.
That's it. We get all the seasons.
Right? If you go through a natural disaster, right, or you go through an emergency type scenario, you can request some money. I did this a couple years back with a couple clients of mine. There was a hurricane that hit South Florida, and some of my clients got $400, $500 cash. And it's not a lot, but you know, hey, $400 or $500 might have been that 1 week that they weren't working of income replacement. It might have been the plywood that they had to buy to board up their house because the hurricane was coming. It might have been the canned goods that they had to purchase last minute and the gas tanks that they had to fill last minute, but because they live on a paycheck to paycheck, like they found the money somewhere and now they're indebted. At the end of the day, it's there at the same monthly cost of any other regular term policy, right? Forester's grant programs. Okay, there's grant programs for volunteer work. Look, Everyday Money, our toll-free, personalized, and confidential phone-based financial helpline gives you access to accredited counselors who can answer your questions about day-to-day management of money for people that have trouble with money management. Legal link services, we talked about it. Orphan Benefit. I love this Orphan Benefit. Look at this Orphan Benefit. And this works perfectly for people where mom and dad are in the picture. Not mom and dad separated. It's not that they shouldn't get it, right? I'm just showing you where it really makes sense for people where mom and dad is still in the picture. If you pick up a life insurance policy, so let's just say Sandra and I have a child together, right? And we pick up a forester's policy and something happens to both Sandra and I, and that child is now considered an orphan, right? Because mom and dad are no longer here. Then the life insurance policy obviously pays out. But on top of that, insurance policy is going to pay $900 per month per child until the child turns 18, with a maximum, I think, of 9 kids. Right. So if I don't have any cable and then, you know, Sandra just pops out babies every single 9 months. 9 kids, it'll cover. 9 kids, it'll cover. $900 a month. So think about, think about mom and dads, right? Think about it. Like if mom and dad both pass away, chances are it's going to be a grandparent or it's going to be a sibling, an aunt or an uncle of that child that's going to take over that child. The death benefit pays out, great. But that person that is now responsible for that child is also going to get $900 a month every month until the child turns 18 per child. Per child. Wouldn't that be beneficial for the beneficiary to be able to raise that child for the remainder of the years? That's automatically included.
Does it,
Yes, ma'am.
does it matter the amount of,
Nope. That's the other benefit. Doesn't matter the amount, which means, like, look, I'll tell you right now, I just added more insurance to myself, right? I have insurance where if I pass away, my mother gets it for benefit of my children. But one of the things that I wanted to do this year, because Sandra quit her job and is working with us full time, right? I wanted to make sure that she was protected in the event that something happened to me, because let's face it, if something happens to me, TKO as a company is going to go through some struggles, right? And I know that, because she's working full time and she does a great job there, right? Her area is licensing and contracting. If I said to Sandra, I can't work, I need you to handle sales, she's going to side eye me. Wait, what? Hold up, right? So I took out more insurance and I assigned money to her benefit, right? And so I have policies, just so you guys know, full disclosure, I have policies with Mutual of Omaha, I have policies with American National, I have policies with Allianz, I have policies with Transamerica, and I have an old Transamerica policy. I have policies, y'all. I have policies. I could add an easy $100,000 of basic term insurance to Foresters, and all of a sudden, all these member benefits are mine. Simple $100,000. I'm probably going to do it now that I think about it. What's $100,000 of term life insurance for? My kids are 10 and 12. Let's say I picked up a 15-year term policy that's probably going to cost me $10 a month. And now all of a sudden I have all these member benefits. Just the orphan benefit alone is beneficial. Just the legal link services alone is beneficial. Let me tell you about that legal service, right? You come across a client that's subscribed monthly to, what's that company called? Legal Shield, right? They're paying 75 to $100 a month. 75 to $100 a month to have that Legal Shield service there. Maybe they're not using it. Maybe it's only there to talk to an attorney about something that has to do with a parenting plan from an ex-spouse. Well, listen, Legal Links here will take care of it for you for a lot lower the cost. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty beneficial, right? Family fun events. I like this. This is good for marketing and for business, guys. In our busy lives, it's important to take time and focus on our families, right? That's why each year Foresters offers many wonderful fun events that give a chance for you and your loved ones to relax and connect with each other, as such as amusement park tickets and baseball games. So it's cool. Watch what you do. You contact Foresters. You say, hey, listen, I live in Southwest Florida. Are there any events that you guys are sponsoring? And if there are, they'll give you tickets for it. I had an agent. Let me see here. Nate wrote something. I take these trips and events with my daughter. and wife all the time. Good. Look at that. Now, you know how great of a marketing event this is? Watch this. Imagine you find out that there's a Foresters event going on, amusement tickets. A couple years back, there was the circus. This actually happened, right? The circus here in town, and Foresters was offering tickets to members. So you know what we did? We contacted all of our Foresters clients. We told them about the event. We let them know that, we are Foresters representatives, right? Because you're a Foresters agent. We let them know the event, let them know that tickets are complimentary. We were able to call with them, get the tickets ordered, right? Get tickets for ourselves. Why? Because we were clients. We were clients. Not only were we agents, we're clients. So now all of a sudden, there's an event being hosted, right, for free, paid for by Foresters, that your existing clientele did. You know what most of my existing clients did? They brought other people with them that were not existing clients. They went, and you know what great opportunity it was? It's a great opportunity for you to have your business cards with you. Hey, John, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Oh, John, who is this? Oh, this is Steve. He's my brother. He came with me today to the circus. Yada, 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 yada. Oh, that's awesome. John, did you get your ticket for free? Yes, I did. Thanks to Foresters, man. Aren't you glad you got that policy? Hey, Steve, how are you? Nice to meet you. My name is Tony Martinez. I'm John's agent. Great marketing idea. Great marketing for free. For free. Community involvement. You may have opportunities to become involved in volunteer activities such as playground builds, right? You get to donate some of your time to community involvement, and you get to be around other Foresters members who like to contribute that time. At the end of the day, it's an opportunity for you to build relationships. If you want to host a Foresters event yourself, you can contact Foresters and say, hey, listen, my local gym is hosting a career fair, right? Whatever, a business expo, and they're letting me put a booth up. Can I put up a booth, provide some snacks, provide some flyers, whatever, and represent Foresters? And they'll say yes. They'll send you the little, the Foresters marketing, the banners, of this, to that. They'll give you a little bit of money that you can use to provide, some snacks, some goodies or whatever. But now you're hosting an event that you can promote your insurance agency. I would be offering Foresters to everybody that gets a tax refund. All of those added benefits will help sell. That way the client doesn't feel like, oh man, I'm taking $600 and I'm applying it towards just life insurance. Because that's how they look at it, unfortunately. They shouldn't, but that's how they do. No, for $600, you're getting this: life insurance, death benefit, living benefit, accidental death benefit, legal link services, orphan provision, scholarship programs for your kids. Oh, and listen, family fun events. Oh, by the way, I contacted Foresters ahead of time, just so you know, there's a family fun event happening in 3 months, and it's this amusement park local to you. So that $600 is already covering those tickets. Why not? Right? It's a perfect add-on, right? So I say that to you guys because that should be, wow, I did not know that. Oh, good. So that should be 100% what you should be focused on at the very beginning of the year, if you have a list together of people that get a tax refund. So now you got to say to yourself, okay, well, who is likely to get a tax refund? Who's likely to get a tax refund? W-2 employees are likely to get a tax refund. I haven't seen a tax refund, oh my Lord Jesus, since college. I'm a business owner, but as a benefit, I pay a heck of a lot less in taxes than most people do. It's amazing, right? But anybody who's a W-2 employee, tax refund. Kids, tax refunds. Tax refunds galore. So put a list together of people that fall into that category. Are you a W-2? Yes, put a list, boom. Right? Not only does it give you an opportunity to now start talking about the tax preparers arm, right? We partnered with a company internally that now does tax preparation for our existing clients. You should take a look at us. Take a look at us. Look at our price points. Guys, our price points are on our website already, by the way. Our price points are on the website already. If you go into compensation and you go to tax preparation, you'll see how much we're charging the client, how much each of our tax preparers receive for doing the taxes. So you get, and you also see how much of a commission you get if you refer the business over to one of our tax preparers. But it gives you a chance to create a sticky client, help the client with more services, and get into an insurance conversation. Foresters is direct to carrier for all of you. Every last one of you guys direct to carrier. And it's like 5-minute approval, next day compensation. Now, I will tell you, if you want the price of the term life policy to be competitive, you go fully underwritten. Okay, so they'll let you do express non-medical up to, somebody help me with this, is it 300,000 or 400,000? I don't remember what the number was. I think it's 300. Right, where you're not gonna have a medical.
It's four.
It's 4?
400.
Okay, there you go.
For now.
There you go. You can go up to 400,000 without a medical. No problem. If that person that you're talking to is very like transactional, if that person that you're talking to is like, no, man, I want to do it, but I just don't want it to be a cumbersome process. Listen, non-medical all the way. It'll be a little bit more money, but it's 5-minute approval in and out the door. No problem. But if you're dealing with someone that wants to price shop, well, let me check out other competitors, other this, other that. Number one, they could price shop with you, right? You represent more than one company. But number two, you're more than likely going to have to go fully underwritten. And if you go fully underwritten, you just switch it on the application from non-medical to medical. And now you can go as low as 100,000 and as high as 2 million fully underwritten. And the price, super competitive, super competitive. Let me repeat, super competitive. Make sense? Any questions? Okay. Let me touch base now on.
I had one. I just didn't unmute quick enough.
Oh, you're good. Go for it, Erica.
So the fully underwritten, it just takes a little longer than just a quick 5-minute approval, right?
It does, because you have to schedule a nurse to come out to see the person. The person has to fast the night before. They're gonna have to get blood drawn, urine drawn. We're gonna have to send that blood and urine to the labs for analysis and results. Yeah. I would say underwritten programs are going to be 3 weeks to 5 weeks. They could be faster if that person doesn't have a long history of doctors that they've seen, but sometimes the doctors hold it up because the underwriters will request what's called an APS, which an APS stands for an attending physician statement. They want the medical records, and that doctor drags his feet because they don't make any money on it. So they like to take their time, which annoys the hell out of me. Make sense? Okay, good. And for all of you guys that are dealing in the fully underwritten world, I want you guys to know I have a video that I posted that I put up on our YouTube channel. It's a video you guys can use. It's a video of me talking to your clients and explaining to them what a medical exam is and why they have to do it. So if you yourself are dealing with a case in underwriting, and the underwriter says, hey, listen, I want to get paramed scheduled. Paramed stands for paramedical exam, right? That's blood work. That's fully underwritten. If you have that and you're like, man, I don't know how to talk to the client and explain to them, send them the video. Hey, I need you to watch this quick 7-minute video. It's one of my business partners going to explain the next steps. And it's me talking to them in a very generic fashion, but explain to them, here's what you have to do and here's why you have to do it. And here's how you prep for it. Make sense? Sandra uses that all the time with my clients. Okay. Lucia says, I take creatine and I'm glad I wasn't taking it. You saw the video, didn't you? Okay. So let me tell you why Lucia said this. That video explains medicals. I want you to understand when you have to get a medical done, they're looking at your blood work. So a couple things need to happen. Number one, you should eat healthy you should start eating healthy. You should tell that person to start eating healthy up until the medical exam. The night before, no high fat content, no alcohol whatsoever. If you're a non-smoker, make sure you don't hang around secondhand smokers, because believe it or not, it will show up in your blood work if you're around secondhand smokers, right? Don't do any of that. If you like going to the gym, you got to get off of supplements, particularly creatine, which is what Lucia is talking about. If your blood work comes back and you have high creatine levels, to the doctor, they're thinking that your kidneys are failing. Your kidneys aren't processing the normal amount of creatinine that goes into your system, and therefore your kidneys are failing. You're about to go into dialysis. So they won't approve you. You got to get that client to get off of the supplements, right? They got to get off of the supplements and then get a blood work done, because what they're looking for is normal lab readings, not elevated readings on any level. They're not looking to see B12 jacked up to the roof, creatine jacked up. They're not looking to see any of that stuff. They want to see normal levels. Right. So sometimes you deal with bodybuilders and fitness people and people that love to go to the gym, or people like Lucia that constantly walk around with a shaker in her hand. Wait, you got to prep her for it. Wait, hold up. Before you get your medical done, I need you off this for a little bit. People who drink Bang Bang energy drink, that is jacked up with creatine. So that video that I post explains how to prep your client for that medical, because here's the thing. The client's going to get blood drawn once. The client's going to get urine drawn once. and that record's going to be there forever. So you got to make sure that they're as clean as they possibly can and prep them for it. So anyways, that's my piece on that. Let me talk about any other questions. Any other questions? Because I want to talk a little bit about IRAs and 401ks. Yeah, good. Okay. So, and I apologize for the noise in the back. My dogs aren't fully situated yet, and I'm in a 1-story versus a 2-story. So you hear them in the cages kind of rattling around. For people over 70 years of age right now, 72 now, actually the law changed, 72. If they have 401ks, IRAs, any kind of qualified account, anybody know what they have to do in the next 4 months? Anybody know the answer to that outside of my tax preparers, Rubiel?
Start withdrawing.
They need to do what's called RMDs, required minimum distributions. They have to take a percentage of the money in those qualified accounts out. They have to. I need you to understand something. If they do not take it out, 50% penalty. 50% penalty. Literally, the government says, give me 50% of what you were supposed to take out as a penalty. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why? Why? What in the world? What is this? I'll explain to you in a minute why it exists and how it exists. But you just need to know that for right now. You need to know that. So if people have to take their money out, that means that they're going to have to talk to somebody about options. What are my options? What are my options? What are my options? What are my options? Chances are they have that money already sitting somewhere. Most people have that money sitting in an investment account or a CD at the bank, right? So if you can advertise on social media to your peers, to your networking groups, whatever it is, that you have options for people to RMD, correct? Required minimum distributions, RMD, required minimum distributions, RMDs. Okay, if you have marketing where you're saying to people, hey, for those of you that are required to take out distributions this year from your IRAs, 401k, if you're over 72 and a half years old, message me. My firm specializes in working with clientele that need to take out their money in order to avoid the 50% tax penalty that the government is going to charge. Send me a DM. Or here's my business card, or refer me over. However it is you're advertising, start advertising. You would be amazed how many of your younger clients have a grandfather or a grandmother that's over 72 and a half years of age that has to do that. And they go through the complications. They don't know how to do it. They don't know what to do. Then they would love to have a conversation with you. And it now gives you an opportunity to do a full fact finder on them. Miss Client, you have to take money out. Talk to me about that. Well, Lucia, I just want you to know that I've got $100,000 sitting in a CD at the bank, and I know I'm over 72 and I have to start taking it out, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know what it is. Oh, okay. Talk to me about that CD. How long have you had it? Why'd you put the money in there? Oh, I moved the money from my old employer, but I put it there because I didn't really know what to do with it. And I didn't want to talk to an advisor because I thought they were going to charge me money. Okay. Well, Miss Client, are you open to some suggestions in reference to what you could possibly do? Yes, I am. Have you heard of personal pension plans before? No, what is that? What if I could turn that 100 grand into a guaranteed stream of income for the rest of your life that you can never outlive? That way you never got to worry about those RMDs every year, ever again. Oh my God, that would be great. Bam, $100,000 rollover, right? It's an opportunity, guys. Let me tell you what month they're going to go crazy having that conversation. Okay. April. Anybody know why April?
Taxes.
Tax deadline.
Tax deadline, April 15th. They have to do their RMDs before April 15th. They have to. So what you're going to find is all the procrastinators are going to come out of the woodworks in April. Oh my God, I need to do my RMD. I don't know what to do. What do I do, right? Help them with it. Even if the client decides not to move the money over, help them with it. You know how you help them? You get on a 3-way phone call, them, you, wherever the money's at, whatever investment firm the money's at, Say, hey, I just want to talk. I need to talk to the withdrawals department. We need to exercise an RMD, and we need to do it right away. And they know, all these companies, they all know, they're all prepping for it. But that's a great opportunity right now. That is a huge, huge, huge opportunity right now. A lot of people have New Year's resolutions, right? You know what 63 million Americans have as a New Year's resolution? To find another job. A lot of people lost their job the last year and a half, guys. I promise you, some people that have been struggling, right? Can't find jobs or can't find a job that was adequate to what they used to do, whatever. Some of them have been unemployed for a long time. Some of them are saying to themselves, 2022 is going to be a different year for me. Let me ask you, how many of you guys have said that to yourself already? How many of you guys have said to yourself, 2022 is going to be a different year for me? You see?
Me.
You know how many people lost their jobs and have been unemployed and maybe still have their money sitting in old 401ks that are saying 2022 is going to be a different year for me. Maybe one of their New Year's resolutions is to find employment or open up a business. Maybe one of their New Year's resolutions is to get their finances in order. I have money sitting around in old 401ks, . You need to talk about it now more than ever because it's on their mind. People that you never thought were talking about it, it's now on their mind. Now's when you got to capitalize and start talking about it. Now, because there's a shift happening. There's a big shift happening. We know what's going to happen. The month of January, we know the gyms are going to fill up. New Year's resolutions. They're going to fill up like crazy. Lucia is going to be pissed as hell when she goes to the gym in the morning because now there's 10 times more people there. It's what's going to happen. It's what's going to happen. You know what? The banks are going to start filling up because people want to do their RMDs. This is your opportunities, guys. This is those opportunities. Those clients of yours that got rated, right? They got rated standard. Those are the clients that you want to reach out to and say, hey, Happy New Year. What was your resolution? Well, my resolution is to lose 20 pounds. Awesome. Guys, do you know that if you get a client that was rated standard or table rating and they got rated because of their body mass index, if they lose weight in a healthy manner, I'm not talking about like from 1 month to the next, they lose weight, they keep it off for at least a 6-month period, you can get them re-rated or, ready? Reapplied. I like that word better. Reapplied is a whole lot better than re-rated. You know why I like reapplied versus re-rated? Anybody know why I like reapplied versus re-rated?
Maybe because they can lose their benefits, like their living benefits.
No. Why do I like it?
They pay less.
Because
You get paid.
You get
You
paid
get-
again. Yeah.
you get to start all over.
You get recommissioned, right? So imagine a client that did an Anaco policy with you, right? And it ended up being table rated, and now it's expensive. They lost a bunch of weight because that's one of their New Year's resolutions. They're healthy now, right? They've been following Lucia Maldonado on her social media, and they went the vegan lifestyle, right? They're super healthy, right? By the way, low key, I'm jealous, right? I'm jealous that you went vegan because I would love to do it, but it's such a hard transition. But I might follow you more. Anyways, right? So what I'm saying is they did that. You know what? Let's take a look at see what NLG would charge you now. Let's take a look and let's see what North American will charge you now. They've got a term policy with living benefits just as good as Anaco. Let's replace that business because now we're going from table rating to preferred or standard. So now the price is better. Guess what, Miss Client? For the same price you were paying before, I can take you from the $400,000 of insurance you had. I can give you $600,000 of insurance. Or, Mr. Client, right? You know that you want to lower your cost, right? Well, look, I'm going to take that $400,000 and instead of it costing you $100 a month, and now only costs you $60 a month because you got healthy. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't always reapply the person. If it makes sense, I try to. If it makes sense, I try to, because I always still want to make sure I'm putting the client in a better position. But if it doesn't make sense to, then I'd rather than, hey, let me call the existing insurance company, have them re-rate her. Maybe it means a nurse has to come out and do another height and weight, another blood and urine, another checkup to see that the person's healthy to get a re-rating. That's cool, no problem. But it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Even Forrester's Medical, hey, right? You see? So, you know, these are opportunities. What's another big opportunity? What's another big New Year's resolution, guys? I want to quit smoking.
Get out of debt.
Get out of debt. That's right. Student loan forgiveness programs that we have, great. Get out of debt is a great opportunity for them to sit with you and you do a new budget with them, a new analysis with them. And if you don't know how to have a budget analysis with them, have it. It's new. They want to get better. They need new spending habits. You need to start talking about it. If I was you guys, you know, one thing I might actually do is I might actually host not a BOM, but an actual, you know, financial consultation Zoom meeting where all of you guys can invite people who have the New Year's resolution of getting their finances back in order. Imagine if you can promote that. Anybody with a New Year's resolution about getting their finances back in order, understanding how to properly budget, understanding how to properly save, how to avoid taxes. Anybody interested in learning about that in a free 30-minute seminar? We're hosting this event on this day. You know how many people have that as a New Year's resolution? I need to get my money in order. We host an event. We talk about tax-free savings. We talk about the importance of a budget, right? You know why they call it a budget? Because you're not supposed to budge from it, right? We talk about investing. You know what I'm saying? But these are great opportunities you need to capitalize on at the start of the year because that's what's on people's minds. If you start talking about it in February, you're already behind the 8 ball. You start talking about it now. How many of you guys on social media are getting advertisements right now about tax preparation and new discounts on cars? People are advertising now. Now they're advertising. You need to start now because it's going to be in the top of their head now. February, they forgot all about it. That's when you capitalize. That's when you capitalize. Look, let me close it off with this. I don't have, as you can see, my dry erase board is not up yet, right? But I'm going to use the digital flip chart that we have. And I'm going to show you guys how to get access to it for those of you that don't want to use a dry erase board. I like dry erase boards because I can, as I'm doing the presentation, I can tell the story and I know that the person is going to be focused in on what I'm writing versus looking all over the screen. However, I know some people that they like the digital. So let me show you. Let me share my screen here with you and show you. I'm going to show you the 401k presentation. The reason I'm going to show you the 401k presentation is because, like I said, there's a lot of people that have a New Year's resolution of finding new jobs, getting their finances back in order. You're going to have an opportunity to find a lot of old 401ks, guys. A lot of old money sitting around if you just ask the right questions and you advertise. Is your New Year's resolution to get your finances back in order? Is your New Year's resolution to, you know, get that job, consolidate all your investments? Let's talk. I guarantee you're going to stumble upon this. So when you're logged into the TKO website, you go right here to documents and resources. Click documents and resources. It takes you to a OneDrive file. And guys, just so you know, that Forester's benefits I found right here under marketing. Right under marketing, right? If you open it, you'll see there's another folder called carriers, bam. And there's Forester's right there. There's Allianz's marketing, there's Silax marketing, right? And as I get stuff, I add it in. I mean, look, I've even got some credit repair marketing. You guys can copy and paste and use. It's all there for you guys to use. You just got to dig through it, right? But let me go back to mine, right? So if I'm going to presentations, that's where our flip charts are at. Go to presentations, sales flip chart. There it is. If you're digital on an iPad, this works perfect. If you are more, you know, paper person, print it, laminate it, bind it, use it as your flip chart in the field. Okay. Let me, come on now. Open up, open up, open up. It's opening. Here we go. Okay. So let me show you the 401k presentation. I've been doing this 401k presentation, guys, no lie, probably longer than I've done any of my other presentations. Longer than my dime analysis, longer than the 4 types of insurances, longer than IUL. I've been doing 401k for a long while. Here's the 401k presentation. It's like tic-tac-toe. So I'm gonna show you like I said, I'm much bigger about the dry erase board, but I'm going to show you, you know, on this digital version. Normally, I just do this tic-tac-toe lines, and everything else is empty, right? And I go, it's very simple. I go, listen, I start right here. I said, a 401k, and I write 401k, just so you know, it's nothing but a tax code. That tax code in the Internal Revenue Code book is IRC 401-K. That's why they call it a 401k. That tax code was created in 1979. Why was it created? Because back then, for every dollar you made, you had to pay Uncle Sam 70 cents. Taxes were at 70 cents. Guys, can you imagine make a dollar, keep 30 cents? Make a dollar, keep 30 cents? People were going crazy back then. They were saying, I need to find a way to legally hide my money from Uncle Sam so that he doesn't keep taking 70 cents of every single dollar I make. So the government created this 401k tax code, which, by the way, is the exact same as a IRA tax code and the exact same as a 403b tax code. The difference between these three tax codes is who created it. A 401k is created by an employer. An IRA is created by the individual retirement account. A 403b is created by a non-for-profit business, like a school, a church, a government institution, but they all operate the exact same. How does it work? It's very simple. In this tax code, it says, hey, don't worry about taxes now, worry about it later. Why were people saying to themselves, I don't want to worry about it now, I want to worry about it later? Because taxes then were 70%. So they wanted to worry about it later in hopes that taxes would go down later. So for someone that makes $50,000 a year, as an example, and they put $5,000 of their money into this 401k IRA or 403b, at the end of the year, when they go to Uncle Sam to pay taxes, Uncle Sam says, hey, you only made 45. What did you just do? You legally hid $5,000 of the money you earned. Would you agree? You put it in here. Now, by putting it in here, it all of a sudden becomes a qualified account, which means it has rules. What are some of the rules? One rule is this rule right here called the 59.5 rule. What does that rule say? That rule says you cannot touch your money before 59.5 years of age. If you do, you're going to pay a 10% early withdrawal penalty plus taxes on the money. And today taxes are at about 33%. So what does that mean? If you touch your money early, you're spending 43% and you're paying 43% in penalties and fees. If you tap into this money before 59.5. Right now, Mr. Client, do you know that more than 80% of people tap into their money before 59.5? You know why? You ready? Life happens. That's why. Life happens. People lose jobs. People have medical issues. People want to do upgrades to their homes. People have damages that occur. I mean, emergencies. Life happens. Life happens, y'all. Right? The second rule is this 72.5 rule. Have you ever heard of that rule, Mr. Client? Just so you know, sidebar. When I ask people, do you know the 59.5 rule? 70% of people know it. When you ask them, do you know the 72.5 rule? They go, nope, I have no idea what the hell that is. The 72.5 rule says, by the time you turn 72.5 years of age, you have to start taking money out of this 401k or IRA or 403b. Anybody know why that rule exists? What is the reason and the rhyme? Anybody?
So that the government can start getting their cut.
The government wants their money. Think about it. Someone starts an IRA in their 20s and then they retire in their 60s. That's 40 years of not touching that money. That's 40 years the government's been eyeballing that account and hasn't been able to tax it, hasn't been able to tax it, hasn't been able to tax it. That money's been growing. No problem, Baleen. Have a great day. That money's been growing, okay, and earning interest, and it's never been taxed. I mean, Uncle Sam is salivating. By 72.5 years of age, he says, you have to start taking money out. If you don't take money out, you're going to pay a 50% excise fee. There it is, 50% excise fee, plus taxes, wherever they are. And I put a question mark there because we have no idea where taxes are going to be later on. We have no idea. So what does that mean? What's the safety zone? The safest place to tap your money, to touch your money, is between 59 and 72 and a half years of age, between. And although that's the safest place, because you're avoiding the penalties, you're avoiding this 10% early withdrawal penalty, you're avoiding this 50% excise fee. What are you not avoiding? What are you still not avoiding no matter what?
Taxes.
Taxes. Uncle Sam's going to he's going to get his due. And let me tell you what the prediction is. Taxes are going to go up into the 70% bracket, y'all. Taxes will go up into the 70% bracket again. And you can't say that'll never happen if in 1979, when the tax code was created, it was already at 70%. Does anybody know what the highest tax bracket has been in the history of the United States of America? The highest. Anybody know what it was? 94%. 94% during the Great Depression. That's how high taxes went. You imagine make $1, keep 6 cents? Holy crap. Taxes are going to go back up to 70%. Why? It's a mathematical formula. Here's why. 76 million baby boomers, which is 43% of the United States, is retiring at the same stinking time. 43% of the world is retiring. Not of the world, I'm sorry, of the United States. And they're all tapping into what when they turn 65? What do they collect when they turn 65? Irv, what do you collect when you turn 65, brother?
Social Security, man.
Social Security. That's 10,900 people every single day for the next 13 years. No problem, Nate. It's all good, brother. Have a good one. 10,900 people every single day for the next 13 more years turn 65. That's 10,900 new checks every day that the government has to issue out in Social Security checks. Guys, look at this. 10,900 times 365. That's 3.9 million new checks every year for 13 more years. There's not enough money in the system to pay all those Social Security checks. The government will run out of money. They will. And when they run out of money, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to look at 43% of the United States and say, hey, guys, we're sorry we ran out of your money. So bad. Sorry, you're lost. No. You know what they're going to do? They're going to look at the millennials, and they're going to look at the Gen Xers and the Gen Zs, and they're going to say, hey, guys, sorry, we have to increase taxes. We got to take more of your money to pay the older generation that's already retired. But as a downfall, unfortunately, 401ks, IRAs, and 403bs are also going to be affected by it. Because when you take money out of a 401k, a 403b, or an IRA, it's considered earned income, as though you earned it that year. So not only are the millennials, me, the Gen Xers, right, the boomers, not the boomers, I'm sorry, the Gen Xers, the Gen Zs, and the millennials going to get affected while they're working. But the people that are already in retirement with IRAs, 401ks, and 403bs are also going to get affected, and they're going to start seeing 70% of their money being taxed. So the person that has $100,000 in an IRA really only has $30,000. The person that has $1 million in an IRA really has $300,000. Do you see Lucia's face when I said that? That's the face I'm looking for out of my clients. That's the face I want. Honestly, that 100% is the face I want. I want them to go, oh, are you kidding me? Are there solutions? Are there options? Yes, we have options. I might not be able to save you from the tax implication, but what if that $1 million number can give you a guaranteed stream of income for the rest of your life, no matter how high or how low taxes go? See, your $1 million is really only worth $300,000. And 6% of 300,000 is what? Hang on a second. 6%, 300,000. Sorry, I'm bad with numbers. Is 18,000. But 6% of $1 million is what? 60,000. What if I can give you $60,000 a year for the rest of your life instead of $18,000 a year? Even though out of the $1 million of money you have, you really only are going to keep 300,000 of that money. I have a solution for you. Would you allow me an opportunity to sit with you and share with you how it works? Yes, no problem. Great, let's talk. This is how people, and let me tell you something else. This 401k is getting charged 2.5% to 4.5% in fees every single year. It's an undisclosed fee And it wasn't up until about 3 years ago that they created a law that requires 401k companies to disclose what that fee is, but you have to request it. I mean, think about that comment I just said. Before 3 years ago, I think is when that law came in place. Before 3 years ago, the 401k companies that were managing your 401ks did not have to tell you how much they were charging you in fees. They didn't have to tell you at all. And it isn't up until recently, 3 years ago, where they're now required to tell you, but you have to request it. And most people don't even know that they can request that info. You know what it is to pay 2.5% to 4% in fees every year, whether you make money or you lose money? Doesn't matter. You know what's the next question I ask most people is, Mr. Klein, do you know who your advisor is that's handling your 401k? Don't worry, I'll wait. Nobody knows who that person is. Nobody. So wait a minute, you mean to tell me that there's somebody that is getting paid a pension, a 4% pension every single year off of your money? Whether he does good with your money or he does bad, he's still getting paid. And you don't even know who that person is. You have no idea who that person is. That's crazy. So, Mr. Client, what if I can show you a solution that has zero to minimal fees. And if there is a fee, it's only a profit sharing fee, meaning you have to make money in order for them to charge you a fee. What if I could show you an environment where if the market goes up, you go up, but if the market goes down, you don't lose money at all? What if I could show you an environment that when you hit retirement, instead of them saying, hey, here's your nest egg, here's your 401k, do with it what you need, but we're going to take 70%. What if I could show you a place where you could say, hey, here's my nest egg. It's going to give me an income for the rest of my life, no matter how long I live, based on the gross number, not my net after tax number. Would that be something of interest to you, Mr. Client? Well, yes, it would be. Well, let's talk. Now's the best time. January, February, March, April. People are reviewing their finances, trying to get their finances in order. And people over 72 and a half years of age are saying, I need to take out my required minimum distribution. I need to talk to somebody about it. And all you need to have is a few points that I just mentioned today to show that you have an understanding of that world. You don't have to know it 100% the way I know it. You just have to have a few points that you know, enough to give some, to throw some shots and show you've got some credibility, and then set up a meeting. And I'll go with you to the meeting, no problem, and show you how to do it. Or someone like Serge Mesa can go with you to the meeting who knows it in and out the way I do it, right? So I mean, I got a lot of guys that know this game really well. I'm just teaching you guys how to go find it. And through the process, I teach you how to start doing it on your own. That's really what it's about. Any questions? No? All right. I appreciate you guys for being on. Okay. Anybody who's watching this video, obviously we're doing this live, but anybody who's watching this video wants to learn more how to master the retirement game, how to master the 401k game, how to master the annuity game, how to master the pension game, anything in that capacity, hit me up. My number is 239-784-1118. I have no problem working with you guys remotely, virtually. Hit me up, send me a message, let's chat. Appreciate you.